Once again, it is a ridiculous day in the world of Magic the Gathering. Wizards of the Coast has issued a response to the Pinkerton situation. On top of that, we have the absolutely miserable way that they have handled the brand new Alayna Danner secret lair. This stuff is mind-blowing.
Magic.
I am a wizard!
History.
I'm an old wizard!
The Magic Historian.
My bones hurt. Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends. I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for another wacky installment of Mega Magic News. And them boys at Wizards of the Coast are at it again with their silly nonsense. So first things first, let's talk about what they had to say in regards to the Pinkerton situation. I'm sure everybody here is up to speed on mostly what has occurred. So Wizards of the Coast has reached out to Polygon with corrective language to explain additionally what has happened, and it is pretty enlightening. It says, as part of an investigation into the unauthorized distribution and disclosure of embargoed product, we repeatedly attempted to contact an individual who had received unreleased cards. After that outreach was unsuccessful, an investigator visited him and asked that he reach out to us as part of our investigation and return the embargoed product and packaging. He agreed to do both. The unreleased product will be replaced by us with the product he intended to purchase. We appreciate the individual's cooperation and the investigation is ongoing. So, the individual that's mentioned here, obviously, is Old School MTG. For more details on what happened overall, the last video I put out covers that. But this tells us that the product was indeed not actually stolen, right? Clearly, this was somehow released through normal channels. I do love the use of the word embargo. It's such a big fancy word that a lot of the times you will hear in terms of like, oh, governments and stuff, oh, embargo. But what embargo really means in this context is we say you can't do that. We say, no, that's not allowed. There's no like laws that have been broken here. It sounds very, very official, but apparently underneath what happened is literally what I said. Some of the March of the Machine aftermath made its way out through the normal channels. That's what happened, right? You have a situation where clearly the two sets, March of the Machine Aftermath, are incredibly similar in terms of naming. Product codes tend to shrink things down even further, so it's super easy to see how that would make it out there. So what they're doing is they're turning around and saying, well, you meant to get March of the Machine, so we're going to replace your product with an equal amount of March of the Machine. I don't know exactly if they're going to do anything extra. And also, in terms of the whole, like, we tried to repeatedly contact him, that could be them calling the wrong phone number, sending an email off to the wrong email, or it could just be like, we called him twice and he didn't answer as fast as we wanted. So there is a lot of leeway inside of this language, but clearly it doesn't involve the police because we've seen situations before where Wizards of the Coast has gone after people who have gotten their products, and when they make a statement and somebody's being like legally charged for this stuff, they proclaim it pretty loudly most of the time. So in this situation, as far as I understand, it's just making it through the chain in the normal way. I really do not like how Wizards of the Coast handled this. Obviously, at least to me it feels obvious, they decided to go the route of sending the private investigator down there for the intimidation route because they literally didn't have much of a leg to stand on, where it's like, okay, so we messed up. The product got into this guy's hand. How do we get it back and then just kind of flip it around? So ultimately, I feel like the situation was not handled well. And it actually compounds a number of issues that I'm seeing with the company. They're willing to spend money doing something like this. We're going to chase down where this happened when it's almost guaranteed to just be a normal production chain screw up, right? This isn't like a massive amount of stuff got out there. This is a couple dozen collector boxes. So they're spending resources on that, but they're not spending resources on quality assurance. And that will become very evident when we talk about the next thing, which is the secret lair. This is actually, you know what, sorry, before we talk about that, I want to really quickly touch on the old Amazon bundle story where we talked about the price dropping from 80 down to 43 with the whole oil slick style foils. Do you remember that? The complete bundle, where apparently people who were charged 80 are now starting to see refunds coming back on their statements for those bundles that they've bought. So keep your eye out for that. Obviously, it's not a huge news item, but I wanted to tuck it into the middle here before we talk about this crazy situation that's going on with Alayna Dayner's secret lair. Wizards of the Coast, as far as I'm concerned, this is the biggest screw up in secret lair history, especially considering the way that Wizards of the Coast is handling this. Up until now, the secret lair where they left Heliod out and then later on sent Heliod, they left Heliod out, but they sent him out afterwards with 5 tokens as a bonus saying, sorry, we messed up. Here's some tokens, right? They also really messed up with the heads I win, tails you lose deck, where you have a scenario where they go, oh, hey, it's actually going to be a year before we get you the decks. But again, they go, you know what? Sorry for the screw up. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you some collector boosters to make up for it. So flash forward to our current situation where we have a Magic artist who is super, super excited to have her own secret lair. And when you look at the artwork she does, you will see that she deserves her own secret lair. In fact, take a look at this artwork here. This is the artwork that she did for her secret lair that won't be in the secret lair, because Wizards, instead of publishing this finished artwork, is instead publishing the unfinished artwork in the secret lair. They literally released a statement saying, oh, just so you guys know, we're essentially using an earlier version of the artwork in this secret lair. Now, I find this to be absolutely baffling because we have just seen in the recent past that the secret lair where we had Spiky McFingers removed from the card because he's sitting there with no clothes on in the middle of the card, they removed him from the Stone Coil Serpent before the set was going to be released. They said the cards would be released with proper artwork and having that removed. And yet, lo and behold, we have secret lair for this artist, and these are print to demand, right? You can order as many as you want. You have the whole 2 months to order them. They'll give you as many as you want. And yet for this one, they're not updating the artwork for the actual printing. And then it goes a step further. And here's where it gets really aggravating, for me especially, because it just shows the state, the arrogance of Wizards of the Coast. So they've said, we're going to print the proper version of the card. Now, I'm sure your brain is going, well, they're going to make this available to everybody. They sure are. And you know what they're going to do? You're thinking, oh, they're just going to send them out to everybody because everybody who ordered that secret lair is entitled to the proper version of the card that they're ordering, right? That's what they're going to do. No. Here's their solution. We're printing the proper version of the card. We're going to include it as a secret bonus card in a future secret lair. So whenever you buy a secret lair, every secret lair has a secret bonus card. They're taking, like, this is an artist-specific secret lair. This isn't the Tickle Monster meets a goat, and then it just happens to be, oh, we left one card out of that. These people are buying it because of the artist who does the artwork. It's insane to me that they're going, oh, well, you know the fixed version that you actually, that's what you wanted to order? We're going to secretly insert it into a random secret lair in the future so you can chase it. They're making you pay extra and chase the card that you just straight out should get. They literally should send it to you. And when they made the initial statement talking about this, they did not update the secret lair website. The secret lair website just had, you can buy this, and showed the cards and didn't mention there was any problem with them for at least 24 hours, as far as I understand. When I first went to the website, there was literally nothing about it. And then you go, you posted this in a separate place, and there's such skis bags that they've updated the secret lair website when you order it saying there's a problem with the artwork in it, and it mentions the cards, but it says, if you want to know more, click here. The blurb explaining it is as long as the other blurb. They could put it there, but they don't want the optics of people going, wait, so hold on. You're going to release the proper version, but not to me. and it's going to be the secret card, which Wizards never reveal that, by the way, guys. Wizards never reveals the secret cards, right? We find them out when people open the secret layers. So they literally didn't bother to fix the artwork. They still could because it's print to demand, and they're playing a game to see if they can make more money and goose secret layer sales by going, well, what we'll do is we'll actually put it in secret layers going forwards, but you won't know which ones. And then, and this, dude, it tweaks me so much because this poor woman, and I want to make sure I say her name right again here, where I have it written down, Alayna Danner. She cares enough about people getting the right cards that she went out of her way to talk to Wizards and be like, okay, can I get like copies of the cards, and I will go out like at conventions and stuff, and if I meet people, like, you'll find her in the Reddit where people are talking about this situation, and she is such a professional. She is not slamming Wizards for this at all. I would be livid, bro. Livid. If I turned in the artwork late or something, if there was some story like that. But as far as I understand, it's just Wizards just, what are you gonna do? And didn't bother putting the right artwork into the file, and now they won't change it. It makes my brain ache. But anyways, this poor woman, right? She basically is in the Reddit going, here's what we'll do. I'll have the proper versions of the cards, and you guys come and meet me. We'll just put a little mark on the whatever, and I'll give you the proper version. Like, just do a swap, or I don't even know if you get to keep the original. But she's going out of her own way, like her own time and money. And now, instead of Wizards sending it out to you, oh, are you a fan of this artist? Well, I hope you live in the same part of the world and can get to her, or you have to set up some kind of mail exchange, which I don't even think that's an option yet, but it speaks to the current era of Magic the Gathering and the way Wizards of the Coast is operating. What possible reason, genuinely, when it's a print-to-demand product, and if you don't know what that means, if that term's not clear, Wizards of the Coast has always said that secret layers work like this. You can order as many as you want, and we'll just print them and send them to you, right? It's not like they make them in advance before they sell them, because if they did that, we wouldn't have seen a year delay for the Heads I Win, Tail You Lose deck. We wouldn't have seen months and months delay on the Little Walkers. They wouldn't have changed the Stone Coil Serpent. Like, it legitimately, the only logical explanation, and correct me if you can come up with something else, because I will admit that I'm cynical when it comes to Wizards of the Coast now. I love the game itself, but the higher level up in the corporation, they just seem like they're trying to squeeze us from every angle. So I no longer give them the benefit of the doubt. And this screams to me, yo, how do we turn this mistake into more money for us? How do we dump this on the player the same way that they dump all the poor card quality on us? And it's just driving me insane, especially in this context where you have a Magic artist who has to go out of their way to try and fix the problem for $1 billion company. This is not the sign of a healthy company, guys. Hasbro's stock is slumping ever downwards, and Wizards is trying to hold them up, and they can't do it. And they have to find more money, which leads to crazy little side issues like this. What possible logic can there be for, we're going to include this in a future secret layer, other than, well, we can sell you future secret layers, and it would cost money to correct this. We're not going to pay money to correct this, but that would presume that the cards are already pre-printed. I feel like I'm living in Bizarro world, and I've been playing Magic for so long that I remember a company that once upon a time, when card quality was so poor, they burned the cards rather than letting them get to the public. So I've reached the point, some of you may remember years ago, where I had my flip out and I walked from Magic for a while. Well, I'm not at that level, but the level I am at is showing some love to other card games. It is eye-opening. For example, this is Sorcery, okay? Now, I have another YouTube channel where I talk about all kinds of other card games, and if you just want to see me having a good time instead of, over there, I'm even having fun opening old school Magic from Revised and everything like that, right? So, that place has chill stuff like this going on. We got Sorcery, but it's time to give these card games some more attention on my bigger channel. So I'm going to start to have some placements and videos dedicated to a number of different TCGs. That's what we're going to start with, because I need to spend my time having a good time with you guys on this channel as well. And Wizards of the Coast seems to only be shoveling bad news down the pike. And this game right here, Sorcery, the card quality, it's amazing, bro. I have a video specifically on this. I will link it here at the end of the video so you can go and check it out. And the next video that I put out is actually going to be dedicated to this. This is what we're going to talk about. Other than that, I want to say thanks for coming by, my friends. Let me know what you think about the insanity going on with Wizards of the Coast. Again, go check out my other channel with some fun TCG action and other stuff too. We talk about movies and board games, all kinds of ridiculousness. Big thank you to all of my patrons for supporting my channel.